Toronto and Edmonton both squandered chance to go up 3-0 in their Stanley Cup playoff second round runs. A little baseball banter on this Mother's Day Sunday morning, and a plea from a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, all on the next 1420 Sports Bar podcast. 4 Beer Sports Talk and a whole lot more. Let's get into her.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. Join host Brent Radlinsky as he bellies up to the bar and gets the conversation going that'll make you think you're sitting in your local watering room. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans, so sit back, grab a few beers, and let's get into it. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talking a whole lot more on this Sunday morning, Mother's Day morning, May 11, 2025. Today's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code BELLYUP over there at SeatGeek and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Remember, we are part of that Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for a bunch of great articles and check out all the stuff that that 1420 puts up there on their specialty page, as well as the other highlight shows that are there at the Belly Up Media Network, bellyupsports.com. And thank you to everybody who listens to our show, and our podcast ratings are way up the last while. It's amazing. You put a few shows out, people start to listen. I guess it's still tickling some eardrums out there. Before we get going, I was umpiring some baseball games yesterday and got some bad news. I got off the field, and it's funny how you think that things are going to last forever, and you take things for granted a little bit. But my sister sent a group message to the family that their 2 dogs are going through a real tough time. It's Scout, the great big beast, the great big oaf. He's got inoperable cancer, and he probably won't make it the next 7 to 10 days. And it's really devastating because that dog, it was a rescue dog that my sister got, but it kind of went reverse. That dog rescued my niece during COVID, and it's sad to hear that Scouty's not going to be with us the next time I go out there, because that big oaf, he thought he was a little puppy, but he wasn't. Taking the ocean, go swimming. It's sad to see him, cancer. It be a dog or a human, whatever it might be. It's awful. And then McGuire, my main man, been around us for almost 16 years now. I remember when we first bought McGuire all those many moons ago, and it was really fun to watch McKinley with their little short haircut. And we had a few different names for McGuire. I mean, Jim and Craig, my brother-in-law, went to the Nanaimo Clippers game. This one, Pierre McGuire was really big on Sports Talk Radio in Vancouver, and we quite liked him during the World Juniors and everything else. So McGuire, the aptly named after Pierre McGuire, and his his little butt waving, jumping off the deck. And he's liver disease. He's not going to make her another 16 years. So it's been a good run for you. You think it's going to last forever. And that's the one constant in life. You can always count on dogs. You count on dogs more than human beings when it comes down to it. So it's tough news to brace, but it's all part of it, I guess. It's out to my sister's family, Craig, McKinley, Jim, the producer, obviously, and Craig, both those 2, a great family, and then the dogs. But let's think of some happy times and happy memories about those 2 dogs, and we'll get into some sports talk here now. Anyways, the NHL playoffs, man, oh man, it's just I don't want to go as far as saying it's heartbreak. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Edmonton Oilers both had 2-0 leads going into their respective games over the Friday and Saturday night. The Leafs had a 2-0 lead in their game as well on Friday night down in Florida, and the Edmonton Oilers had a 2-0 lead in their game last night at home against the Vegas Knights. And you think, geez, a 2-0 lead in both, you got to find a way to squeeze the life out of both teams. But that's why it's Stanley Cup playoffs. That's why it's hard to win 3 in a row, 4, let alone 4 in a row. But for the Leafs and the Oilers to respectively have the series pretty much within their grasp, it's got to be a bit of not a kick in the pills, but geez, that kind of sucks to have that going. And you don't want to have the negative thoughts. You don't want to have a bit of back thoughts and looking in the past and what could have been. It could have been so beautiful. It could have been so blind. The Tiffany song back in the 80s. But it's it's got to be a little bit of thought going through both teams' heads a little bit. Like, how could we have closed this thing? You go up 3-0, you basically have it wrapped up. You may not sweep the series, but being up 3-0 is obviously a blessing in any series. Winning, but you win 2 out of 3 twice, and you win yourself around. So there is that. With that's how math works, kid. Here at the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. But you look at those both those teams having opportunities to erase some playoff demons. More so the Maple Leafs, obviously, than the Oilers, who went to the finals last year. But the Leafs have had their playoff demons. To go up 3-0 would have been a blessing in disguise for sure. But squander the lead and have a goalie in net that they didn't per se want in net. Wall is a different situation with Stolarz out with concussion, and that was scary last week when that happened. He got the puck to the head and then got the elbow to the side of the head later on, and I didn't think it was a blatant elbow to the head by any means, but it resulted in a concussion, and Stolarz is out for the foreseeable future. Why Craig Berube is playing possum and not saying that he might come back, or I think he's out for quite some time. When his eyes were a bit blinky, and then for him to puke on the bench, it was scary stuff to see. And it's crazy how far the world has come in the concussion realm and CTE. Years ago, a guy would have kept playing and just had got his bell rung, or his rung bell, or bell rung, or whatever one they used to call it. And he would have been kind of just shake it off and go out and play. It's a much better system they have now, considering the situation that the NHL had not that many years ago. I guess a lot of years ago now. It's 14 years ago since there was that suicide epidemic throughout the National Hockey League, and some retired guys and recently retired guys. But for Stolarz is going to be out for the foreseeable future. So you got to hope that Joseph Wall can have a little bit better game. It wasn't a bad game, but he's just not as good of a puck handler. So the game changed a little bit, but it's scary to it was good to see the Leafs, not like went down, but to go to overtime. So all is not lost, and they got to take advantage of this Florida team right now, because this Florida team is vulnerable right now. They played a lot of hockey in the last three years, and that starts to add up. Tkachuk has been there for a while now. He's not playing up to his full potential by any means. I still think he's still injured from that Four Nations face-off back in February, and so they're ripe for the picking, and so the Leafs have to get something done tonight. And would somebody tell Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews? I know Matthews scored the other night, but to me, Marner's playing like, as we not reported here first in the podcast, but the Mitch Marner, he seems like he's kind of playing like this is his swan song with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It just seems like he's just not, he's kind of looking around a little bit and taking it all in. He's been there for quite a few years now, and it just seems like maybe this might be the end of his tenure with the Toronto Maple Leafs and the free agency that's coming and the money he's going to want. I still think his best bet to get the most money available possible would be from the Leafs, because he got that big deal from the Leafs that he wouldn't have got anywhere else when this all came down the first time around in his free agency. I think, what was it, 3-4 years ago? It doesn't much matter this Mother's Day morning. But if Matthews can get going a little bit, Marner can get going a little bit, and Austin and Morgan Riley's got to start doing something. What a nightmare of a year! And that's the thing; they're up 2 games to 1 right now, with their B squad going. Pacioretty's going, Domi's going, Matthew Knies is going, so they're in a pretty good spot if you think about it. And so it was, if their big boys can get going, they should be okay. Okay is pretty lofty for a Leafs fan at this in May when they're playing now. So if you're in an okay spot right now, you're doing okay, better than most Leafs teams of the past. It's that Oilers team that worries me a little bit. They probably should be down 2 games to 1 right now instead of up 2 games to 1, but they're not, and they gave up a late goal last night on a own goal deflection off Leon Draisaitl's stick with 0.4 seconds left, heartbreaking fashion. But they also tied it up on an own goal by Vegas with 3 minutes or just under 3 minutes left to tie that game up last night in a game that they're also up 2-0 on 2 goals by Corey Perry. It's just yesterday afternoon, I was umpiring a baseball game there down at Spitz Stadium. There was a bunch of guys sitting on the side there on the deck, and I overheard them talking. Yes, I was paying attention to the game in front of me. I was on the bases. I was paying attention. So don't say I wasn't, but I wasn't. I was listening to the conversations. It was between pitches, so I didn't have to be watching. But they said that Stuart Skinner was starting, and I go, what? didn't make any sense because I hadn't heard that Pickard was out. Pickard's been a savior for this Oilers team after the first round with the Kings, and Skinner got pulled after game 2, I think it was, or in game 2, late actually the third period of game 2, and Pickard has not lost yet. He's 6-0. Numbers aren't great. 2.5, 3 goals against average, 8.85 save percentage, but the only numbers that matter is wins and losses. All the other stuff doesn't matter. You go out and win games, stop all the easy ones, few of the hard ones. That's what Pickard was doing, and that's what Skinner didn't do again last night. And when I heard that Skinner was playing, I was like, holy Christ, the Oilers are cooked. There's no way they're going to get past this. The team doesn't play with confidence in front of him. They play a little bit back. The fans don't have confidence in him. That place was rocking in Edmonton last night, as it always is during playoff time, or most Oilers game. But in playoff times, it gets absolutely maniacal in there. And the Oilers had a 2-0 lead early, goals by Corey Perry, and you gotta love that kind of grit on a hockey team of young guys that can put you over the edge a little bit. And Perry was doing that and giving his team a chance to win last night with 2 early goals. But then Stewie Skinner blows it. It's too bad, because the place would have been crazy if they go up 3-0 or just hold on to a 2-1 lead going into the second period. It's a whole new hockey game. But the lack of confidence that the Oilers play with in front of it, and this is just Brent, I don't have any insider information, but the lack of confidence they play with in front of Stuart Skinner, it's a different game. The lack of confidence the fan base has on Stuart Skinner changes the narrative inside the building, and that's huge in the playoffs. It's such a fine line between winning and losing, especially if you get a chance to win at home and you go up 2-0. That fan base can get you going into the next gear. And I don't know if anybody, for the people who don't watch a bunch of hockey, watch tomorrow night's game with the Oilers and Knights, and watch that Oilers fan base. It's absolutely crazy. It's next level compared to what other teams are, and that's not an Alberta boy talking. That's just what it is. It's absolutely nuts. And the Oilers fan base lost total faith in Skinner early last night, and negativity breeds negativity. Skinner wasn't horrible, but just not good enough. Just not good enough. A couple of chintzy goals that maybe shouldn't have went in. And the people I was watching the game last night and talking with last night, they're like, this is on Skinner. And just his aura. I think the Stuart Skinner, I said it last week, it should have been, they should have found another way to find somebody else to play goal. I would have volunteered my services. I said that to one of the guys last night or yesterday afternoon at the ball field. I said they should have put Radlinsky in net. Might have a better chance or more confidence in me, an unknown compared to the known. And that's what Stuart Skinner is. He's the known. He's the known in this whole thing, that nobody has any faith in him. And it's too bad you can't pin it on one guy until you can. And Skinner's the one constant in this when the Oilers lose a hockey game in these playoffs. Pretty simple. He is the one constant. Will Pickard come back? I don't know. They said day-to-day lower body, but he's not a young guy anymore by any means. So it could be forever. And you would hope. And you would think when a guy in these playoffs in one of his last runs of his career, you think a guy might be able to play through it. But the goalies need their legs. If it's lower body, well, you can't move as well. So Skinner gave them the better option, which is crappy. If Stuart Skinner's your better option, you're in big trouble. You're in big trouble. I've never thought much of Skinner. I just think he's big, and that's it. I think all goalies are big now. The only guy who's not is Dustin Wolf out in Calgary. But I don't have any faith in Stewie Skinner to get this thing done. With the Leafs, I do have faith that they will find a way to get it done. But the ghosts of Christmas past and Stanley Cup playoffs past and everything else start creeping in, and both teams are going to say, and I think this is a stupid narrative. I think it's a ridiculous narrative that it's not if you tell me that you back in October or September when training camp starts, you have a 2-1 lead in the second round of the playoffs, that you'd be happy. Yeah, you're happy. I think you're more content than happy when you have a chance to go 3-0, as both teams did, and start pulling the nails to put in the coffin. You're a little disappointed. You're a lot disappointed. I have 2-0 leads in those 2-0 games. Both teams got to be extremely disappointed, and they got to be thinking, geez, if we just would have done this or done that in that first period. If both teams can just hold on to a 2-0 lead, the Leafs held on to a 2-1 lead, then they went down 4-3, tied it up late. But they can hold on to these 2-0 leads, add that third goal. It's thanks, bye, see ya. It's over. It's done. They aren't coming back from 3-0 in the game or in the series. You might lose game 4, you might lose game 5, but you aren't going to lose 3 or 4 in a row. And for both these teams to have chances to win hockey games and to squander these opportunities, it's got to be a bit of a wake up call, and fans got to be like, "Holy Christ, what are we doing here? Is this going to happen again? Is it like it seems like every year this happens again? Not so much with this Oilers base because they haven't been in the playoffs much, like the McDavid years they have been, but like their playoff history prior to wasn't much. But this Leafs fans, everybody knows that history. Everybody knows that history, and to have that chance, and of course it's Brad Marchand who scores the winner. Like it's just on a goal deflected off the aforementioned Morgan Riley. Of course, it's Marchand is going to get that goal and just stick it to the Leafs as he was doing with the Bruins all those many years in those various since 2011. He's been a thorn in the side of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Is it better being down 2-1? Yeah. It's way better than being down 2-1. It's you have a series in Dallas and Winnipeg right now where a team could go up 2-1, so it's all the same. The other series with Washington, Carolina, which I haven't watched 1 second of, it's 2-1. I think for Carolina. I probably should have done a little bit of research, but research has never been the strong suit here in the 1420 podcast. But so going up 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, that's just what it is. And Winnipeg can get it done on the road tonight. That would be and Hellebuck finally had a game. Maybe he's back after that big win last Sunday night, a week ago. It's crazy how how time flies when you're having fun, but it's a week ago that happened. But you just you hope that both teams, Edmonton and Toronto, can get her done tonight, because if it's 2-2, you got to think advantage Florida, advantage Vegas, and with the Toronto Maple Leafs history, I can't see them coming back. I hope they do. I'm going to get to that at the end of it, but you just I don't have a whole bunch of faith in Edmonton with Stewie Skinner in that, and it's negativity breeds negativity. But I'm not the only one who thinks that. To a man around Spit Stadium and around another place I talked to yesterday, the Oilers fan base has zero faith in Skinner. And will this be Skinner's last run with the Oilers? I would think so. If they get beat out this round after being down 2-0, I don't think nothing, honey, nothing, Brent. The fan base won't stand for Skinner being in net anymore. I know he's got a big contract, but there's always ways to move deals and everything else. Who else is out there? I don't know. I don't think goaltending is at a all-time high of prospects and all-time high of guys who are going to jump in. And goaltending used to be the most important. Used to be the most important position in sport. I think now you can have a serviceable guy. I think you see the serviceable guys not going to lose you games. And that's what Stuart Skinner does. He's not serviceable anymore. He felt okay. Like his post-game press conference, he said all the right things last night, but he just didn't. I didn't have the warm and fuzzies about him at all afterwards, because he just Draisaitl had a bad game last night. It was kind of fitting that that goal went in off of his stick with 0.4 seconds left. If he lets that goal go through, it goes to overtime. Then you never know. But it's just it was an unfortunate bounce, and it's just kind of how that all works. It's been a great playoff. I mean, we talked about last week when Aaron was here, how he was into it. I wonder if he watched last night. If I tuned into the hapless Baltimore Orioles to talk about them in a little bit here. But it's been a great playoff so far. I've had a lot of fun watching it. Mother's Day tonight, the Oilers or the Leafs get going again, and then the Jets and the Stars get going. It's going to be interesting to see who wins that series. But it's been fun. Goaltending is going to come to the forefront in these next games for both teams. I just don't know about this Leafs team. But like I said, if Marner and Matthews can get going even a little bit, the Leafs are in a pretty good spot. It's the Oilers team that I don't have any faith in with Stuart Skinner. He doesn't, and even with McDavid being the best guy in the game, I just don't see them getting it done with Skinner in net. It's tough to pin it on one guy, but you have to pin it on somebody. You can't blame the others. It's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out. It's crazy to have a 2-1 lead, and that's Leafs. We'll talk about that at the end of the final thoughts of today's show. Anyways, there's I got to go into a baseball game here, so I'm trying to pack a bunch of stuff in here at 8:52 a.m. on a beautiful Sunday morning. I got to be on the field at 10 o'clock, so we got some stuff we got to take care of. But anyways, there's the hockey version of the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. For Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Here is a little word from our friends over there at Righteous Felon Jerky. Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky. All right, Righteous Felon jerky, the best jerky in the land. Go to righteousfelon.com and get the best in beef jerky, the best in craft beef jerky. Many different flavors there. You to choose from. Use promo code BELLYUP at checkout. Save yourself 15% on some road trip snacks or just whatever you're doing around the office or wherever you might be. A little jerky never hurt. I love beef jerky. We've talked about it before. Anyways, it's getting embarrassing. Like I saw last night, Ryan from No Credence Required posted us something, the worst lead in sports, a 20-0 lead. And I was like, what the heck's going on there? And it was the hapless Colorado Rockies losing to the San Diego Padres. I think the final score was 21-0. They went with I think a catcher went into the 8th inning. He was the most effective guy on the pitcher's mound for those Colorado Rockies, 6-33. The worst start, tied for the worst start in baseball history with the 1988 Baltimore Orioles. And what a rough year the Orioles are having. They're 14-24. It's an absolute train wreck. Sorry, Aaron from Brutally Honest Sports. Your team is slowly finding their way out. It's not over yet. It's not over yet at 14-24. But the American League East isn't very good, so they could put something together. You never know. But 14-24 at this stage, you might as well start looking into next year. But the Rockies are awful. 33, 6 wins. They're still stuck in that 6-win plateau that me and Aaron talked about last week. And it's crazy to think that a team can be that bad when free agency and everything else you have and all these statalytics. There it is, statalytics. I'm not going to get into that again. People are sick of listening to that, but it's crazy to think that that any GM or manager or anybody can think that this is a rebuild. This is a complete implosion. They get to even think that the process is there and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's absolutely disgusting to me. GM Bill Schmidt of the Rockies, he said they're showing they're working hard. He said they're just little mistakes and the effort is there. Well, it's you. Maybe then it's you. If the effort's there and just little mistakes are costing them night in, night out, well, maybe it's you. Maybe it's the GM who put this team together. Maybe it's ownership who told you to put this team together like this. But anyways, this is a complete embarrassment to the game of baseball, not just baseball, professional sports, and it shouldn't be allowed. There has to be. And baseball, I shouldn't say they're the worst, but they're the worst. For this to happen on a yearly basis where teams just don't care. We talk about it here almost too much, but how teams just don't care. But this is a whole new level. Like at least the A's they're in second place in the West. They didn't call them the Oakland A's, I did now, but they're in second place in the West. The Yankees are right now in 1-1. Yeah, the building is small, and there's a problem there with the A's. A little tangent here that people bought their season tickets at full pop at $75 a ticket times this it's a lot of money. And now the A's are selling, because John Fisher's a douche nozzle. The A's are selling their tickets for less than bargain basement prices. So people who bought season tickets basically want a refund, saying, "Okay, I bought all these tickets because we were told the place is going to be packed, so we had to get tickets. Now the place isn't packed, so you're trying to get a little bit of money back, playing in a minor league stadium, and on it goes, and still probably making a good penny. And so now you're selling money at discounted rate. Give us our money back." So that's another debacle in the world that is the John Fisher and that A's franchise. But you look at this franchise out in Colorado. They haven't been relevant for a long time. They went to that one World Series back in, what was it, 2000? Geez, I don't even know. 2008, maybe? No. Was it? Yeah. No. 2018. Wasn't it? It doesn't matter what year it was. No, it wasn't 18. I could talk about this forever. I won't get the year right, but it isn't good out there in Colorado land. A team that does great ballpark, great facility, but to have a 6-win season, they're so far behind. They think they're ahead, and they're probably going to be in last place again next year. And who's going and who's paying money for all these vendors and beer and sales you aren't getting, and just the embarrassment of not having free agents go there in the foreseeable future. So that's just going to say that you're bad and you're bad and you're bad, because eventually you do have to pick up a piece here, pick up a piece there to make your team viable and go go for a playoff spot, which playoff spots aren't as hard to get by as they used to be in the past. But it's quite awful that this is allowed to happen in the world of professional sports and baseball. How this is just an awful situation. I couldn't name you one player off of this Colorado team, and that says something. I watch a lot of sports, a lot of baseball, especially. There could be 3 or 4 games on at all times down here once the games start, and I don't know one Rockies player. I probably could have tuned in last night, but I was watching the Leafs game. We sat upstairs, watched the end of the Oilers game, so it's only the one TV up there. But to watch this franchise that had some great players in the past, just going back to their infancy with Andres Galarraga and Dante Bichette and the great Larry Walker, obviously, but that's a lot of years ago, and there's been a big gap ever since. They've had a couple playoff runs here and there, but when your originals are the ones that you're still talking about now, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. Are they in the biggest market? No. Are they in the best market? No. Are they a relevant team? No. That's the problem. If you're a good team in a small market or a small-ish market or a different market, people will watch you and they'll follow you. But when your claim to fame right now is you're 6-33, and that's why people are talking about you. When you lose 21, when you lose by 3 touchdowns the night before, that's a problem. That's a major problem. At least when guys are okay and you have the odd all-star here and there jumping around, then people are talking about it. But now it's a major problem that you just don't know what are you going to do. Like, what are you going to do with this? And there isn't any kind of instant fix for a team that's 6-33. Like that Baltimore Orioles team in '88, I think they started the season off 0-21 or 0-22, and they ended up at 6-33. So they actually had a couple winning streaks inside there to get to that. But yeah, this is absolutely embarrassing to the game of baseball. And what do you do to fix it? Like, there has to be some kind of something imposed on these owners who aren't even trying to win and blatantly not trying to win. And for this thing with the position players going into pitch, I get it to an extent. You got to save your arms, but what are they saving their arms for? Like, it's not like you're trying to win the World Series or get to a playoff spot. Get guys in there that are supposed to be pitching. Get them their innings. Yeah, like if you're taking guys out of games, not using your pitching staff, because you're worried about losing, and you're worried about losing tomorrow. Let me give you a little foreshadowing here. Who are Buddy Black? I think it's Bud Black, who's the manager of the Rockies. You're going to lose today. Use your pitching staff. Let them learn how to pitch in tough situations. Let them face some adversity for the first time in their cherished careers and their cherished lives. Let them go out there and fail. Heaven forbid that these prima donna pitchers would have to go in a game when it's 21-0, or even better, stay in the game when it's 21-0. Make them go through something for once in their lives. Make them actually face a little bit of adversity instead of having little Billy or little Johnny or whatever their names are on the Colorado Rockies pitching staff. Instead of having their feelings hurt, make them stay in the freaking game. You're not winning today. You're not winning tomorrow. You're not saving arms for a playoff sprint. You're not saving arms for a trade later on, because who wants these freaking guys? Didn't catch that. I didn't swear this morning. Sunday morning, Mother's Day. Go and hug your mother, by the way. If your mother's still around, go hug her. I'm going to have mom over for supper tonight. We're going to watch the Leafs game here, so it should be a lot of fun. But heaven forbid that these kids would face some adversity and have to stay in the game. You're the one who gave up the 21 runs pitching staff. Stay in the game. You don't got to save arms for tomorrow. You save arms for tomorrow. You keep these kids in the game. You keep them in. That's how they learn how to be men. That's how they learn how to old school it. That's how they learn to face some adversity. Not like, oh, I don't want to anymore. Why am I here? Why do I got to put up with this? Because you're the one who gave it up. You're the one who gave up all these runs. You're the one who throws a million miles an hour, can't throw strikes. You're the one who did this. You're the one who got your team in this situation. The left fielder didn't give up 21 runs. The first baseman didn't give up 21 runs. Was there an error in there? Maybe. But it was the pitching staff who gave those runs. Stay in the game. Learn how to battle some adversity, because you know what? Later on, that might come in handy when you become a bona fide major leaguer. Not some kid who goes, well, I shouldn't be in there anymore. My arm's tired. You know why? You're a baby. Stay in the game. Don't put your manager through this. Managers, keep these guys in the game. Pitching coach, keep your nose out of it. Are these arms worth a lot of money? Probably, but they got 2 cents between their ears. Keep them in the game. Keep them accountable for what they're doing. They're the ones who stink. They're the ones who got you to 6-33. See if you can get to 16-33. Who knows? You're not making the playoffs, But give yourself a chance to do something. Give yourself a chance to learn, battle some adversity, and then 2 years from now, maybe they go, you know what? That really sucked when I was 6-33. But you know what? Buddy Black kept me in there, and I learned how to win. I learned how to become a battler. I learned how to compete. Now these guys don't even compete anymore. I'm great. Weighted balls, blah, blah, blah. Learn how to compete. All that other crap doesn't matter. You want to be a big leaguer? Be a big leaguer. You want to be part of it? Be a part of it. Don't run and hide. Don't have your agents calling the managers, calling the front office, calling the owners, saying, I can't do this. It's too hard. Why do I have to do it? Because you're the one who chose this profession, not anybody else. It wasn't the fan who pays $100 to watch your sorry ass. It wasn't. Not his fault. You want to be a big leaguer? Be a big leaguer. Stay in the game. Coach comes out saying we're going to put the catcher. You say, no, just give me the ball. I'm staying in. I got myself into this mess. I'm going to get myself out of this mess because somebody might want me on their team one day. I don't want to be in Colorado the rest of my life. That's what they can say. I'm auditioning for me. I'm auditioning for my career. I'm here because I want to be here. I'm here because I want to stay in the game. I want to get us out of this mess. Not, hey, can you take me out? I shouldn't be here. I'm going to save my arm for tomorrow. I'm going to save for what? For what? For what? So other GMs can see you have no compete, that you've given up on your season. Baseball is a game of individualistic skills that are all put together to make a team sport. Be a man. Stay in the game. Say you want the ball. Say, no, I'm staying in. Our catcher shouldn't have to go in. And if the catcher's the best pitcher out there, get rid of them all. Get rid of all these prima donnas. Because I see it all the time. My arm's tired. We're saving our arms. Throw the ball. I think Nolan Ryan ever said, till it fell off, basically. Do you think he ever said, maybe I should take a night off? No. One of the greatest ever. In every night, every situation. Not this crap. It's astonishing. It's astonishing these guys get away with it. Been getting away with it since they were probably playing Little League or American Legion right on through. Battle through it. Don't just go throw a ball for us. They have to pull you. Battle through it. Have an audition. Make somebody want to make a trade for you at the deadline so you don't got to be in that hellhole that's Colorado. Or make the team better that's giving you how much money. Get better. You don't want to be called soft? Don't be soft. You don't want to be called entitled? Don't be entitled. Because that's what old school guys like myself and older than me are saying about every one of these guys. And it's not just the Rockies. It's athletes right on through. You don't want to be labeled as one of these guys? Don't be that guy. Battle through adversity. Make people want to wear your jersey. Make people want to come and see you. You want to be a star? You want to be a professional athlete? You're the one who asked for it. You're great with these $1 million arms. With a 2-cent brain. That's the problem. That's the major problem. Right through sport. 2 cents. Not even some of these guys. Shedeur Sanders. Apparently, there's some kind of that they're going to come out with that the Browns and the Sanders family are trying to hold back from the interview with the Giants. How bad this interview was. How great this guy thinks he is. He hasn't done a thing. Nothing. Unbelievable. Once again, worked up on a Sunday morning. Caffeine. I don't know what it is. Promise I wouldn't do this again. Anyways, I don't get it. I don't get it. Be better. Be better. It's an audition. You're a big leaguer. If your catcher goes in and gets out more guys than you did, you hang your head in shame. Hang your head. Give your paycheck to the bloody catcher. You don't deserve it. Stay in the game. Battle through it. Hang your head. Nothing to be proud of with that. Unbelievable. 6-33, catcher goes in. Everybody else's fault. Guaranteed. Guaranteed when they go home, they go to the phone with their mommy. Guaranteed. That's not my fault. I was around the zone. Umpire squeezed me. No. You stink. And you don't battle. Because the first time in your life, you face some adversity and you don't like it. Makes me sick. Makes me absolutely sick. These prima donna athletes who blame everybody else. The old saying, point finger one way, there's four more pointing back at you. That's what it is. Look in the mirror. Be better. 6-33. Battling hard. No, you're not. You're an embarrassment to baseball. You're an embarrassment to sports. Catcher's going and getting more outs. Give him your per diem. Give him your $5 million, $10 million, whatever you're making. Catcher, backup catcher isn't making that kind of money for the Colorado Rockies. He's happy to be there. He took the ball that you gave away. Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for beer sports talk and a whole lot more. This segment was brought to you by Righteous Felon Jerky. Go to righteousfelon.com for the best in jerky in the land. And twice I got revved up. Anyways, 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for beer sports talk and a whole lot more. All right, some final thoughts here at the 1420 Sports Bar on this Sunday morning. Toronto Maple Leafs, as we mentioned, are in their final thoughts brought to you by SeatGeek.com and SeatGeek app. Use promo code BELLYUP over there at SeatGeek. The Leafs, they're up 2-1. Should be happy. I am. They have a chance. They got a better chance than most right now. They're just as close as anybody in the National Hockey League right now to win themselves a Stanley Cup, if not closer. They have three more games at home, but it's hard not to be negative. It's hard not to think that they might not get this done once again. But yeah, you got to think that the Leafs, if they get a couple of points from some certain guys, they got a chance. It would be nice to see them do it. My father-in-law is a long-standing Leafs fan. My wife is a Leafs fan. My brother-in-law is a Leafs fan. My family's Leafs fans, like the ones from back in Manitoba. My cousin played for the Leafs, so I was born into it, honestly. I've been watching Toronto Maple Leafs from the age of 5 or 6 years old. My cousin ended up getting traded there from the Vancouver Canucks for Tiger Williams. So I've come by it, honestly. I'm not, and who would be a bandwagon Leafs fan? It's not a pleasurable experience by any means. But once again, they're pulling at their heartstrings and they're pulling at, you get rid of them, they pull you back in, and this is another year where they have an actual shot. I'd like to see the guys named Morgan and Austin and Mitch and Max and the rest of them, a couple of Max Pacioretty and Max Domi, and get it done for the guys that couldn't get it done and didn't get it done. The guys like Wendell and Dougie Gilmore and Daryl Sittler and Lanny McDonald and the Builder Legos and the Rick Vives and the Felix Potvins and Dave Anderchucks and the Mike Foligno, jumping Mike Foligno. Remember, he scored that playoff goal back in 1992 or 93. At 93 it was. You like to see the Leafs get it done for those guys, the guys who've been around for a long time. You like to see them get it done for the passed away Borje Salming, one of the greatest Leafs defensemen of all time. You'd like to see it get done for the people who used to go to Maple Leaf Gardens back in the day. You'd like to see it done for the ushers and the staff of the people who were working at the restaurants across Maple Leaf Gardens. You like to see the Leafs get it done for all those aforementioned people, and you just like to see it get done finally once and for all for Leafs Nation and for the long. And for the new era of Leafs fans, you like to see it get done for them, so they don't have to. They can start fresh and have a positive outlook on life that most Leafs fans haven't had since 1967. Get it done for guys like Gord Downey of the Toronto from Kingston, Ontario, of the tragically hip, obviously, who passed away from a horrible disease a lot of years ago now. For all those Leafs fans over the years, you'd like to see them finally get one done. For Leafs fans everywhere. And they're right across this great country of ours. And the thing about the Toronto Maple Leafs, people say they hate them, but hockey is always better when the Leafs are involved. And when people, they may love to hate them, but when the Leafs are on TV, there's people cheering for them. They're laughing at them, but it's when the Leafs don't get it done. Over the years, they've had a lot of laughs and a lot of at the Leafs' expense. But this year, I hope the Leafs can find a way to finally get it done and win themselves the Stanley Cup, not just for themselves and for the franchise, but for the fine people across this great country of ours to say, hey, we finally got it done, just like the Cubs got it done in 2016. It would be a great story. They would name schools after those players, like I've said before here. But let's get it done, Leafs. Do it for Dougie. Do it for Bourrier. Do it for all those guys I mentioned earlier on. Do it for who was it? Darren Poopa was in net. The Mike Palmateers and the Bunny LaRocques of it in net, and who was the short guy, Alan Bester, the goalies who maybe not Glenn Healy's of the world, and all those guys who maybe weren't the most skilled, but they put on those Maple Leaf jerseys with pride and they played hard. Did they have the most talent over the years? No, but they always played hard. Like that's one thing about hockey. Those guys go out there, and you can't say there isn't an effort. And those Leafs fans back in the day, back in Maple Leaf Gardens, you remember that 92 or that 93 run that they had where they lost to Wayne Gretzky's Kings, and in 94 when they lost to the Vancouver Canucks. Those are my two favorite Leafs. Leafs runs over the years. So let's see them get this done. Let's see them win a Stanley Cup and shut up all the naysayers for at least 5 or 10 years, and see if we can get it done. Anyways, that's another edition of the 1420 Go Leafs Go. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you. We'll see you later on today. Hugs. Go hug your mother if you still have a chance to do so, because you don't know when that opportunity won't be there. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and all the crap you put up with from the men in the world. I don't know how the daughters and females are towards their mother, but you put up a lot of crap with men. So hug your mothers. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. All the moms who are listening, happy Mother's Day to you too. Go hug your kid too. There used to be a joke around the house that Mother's Day and Father's Day, the mom and dad would give the kids presents, because without the kids, they wouldn't be mothers and fathers. And it would be the other way around for their birthdays, because without them, we wouldn't have birthdays 9 months prior, but whatever. Anyways, that's the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. For Beer Sports Talk and a whole lot more. Brought to you by SeatGeek.com. SeatGeek app. Use promo code BELLYUP at checkout. There it is. A lot of fun this morning. Got a little revved up. I got to go umpire a baseball game, so we'll get this out there shortly. Anyways, that's it. Take care of each other. More importantly, take care of yourself year round. And remember, it doesn't matter where you are. It's who you're with. Scouty, we're going to miss you. Too bad I won't be able to see you before you leave us. But McGuire will see you, and you'll jump on my lap one last time. It's sad. Sad. You think those dogs are going to last forever, and dogs are the only true constant in life. There it is, the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. For Beer Sports Talking More. Thanks for listening. Make sure you catch us on YouTube as well. Subscribe to our channel and listen to some past shows. Follow Jim, the fan in the van, Jalen, and Garrett over at Two Dude Sports News and all the other ones we talk about all the time. There it is, the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. Have a great Sunday, and we will talk to you all again very soon. Thanks for tuning in to the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. For Beer and Sports Talking a whole lot more, brought to you by SeatGeek. Go to bellyupsports.com for the best of sports articles and podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel or wherever it is you get